everybody. So you might be wondering why I have this pretty large bucket of water next to me. Well, we're gonna say goodbye to space theme and hello to under the sea. Now, this might not look like it has a whole lot of anything in it, huh? It's our water. No animals, unfortunately, huh? But I thought to begin this month and our theme, we could kind of discuss the importance of water and how much it means to us and how much, it keeps us alive, huh? It's an environment for our ocean friends. And it's also fun to play and splash around with, huh? So I thought we could do an experiment with some water. And I thought you guys would enjoy this at home too. And you probably have some stuff at home that you can make with this activity. And if you don't have the exact stuff, don't sweat it. You can experiment. You can use this to experiment with all different types of belongings. But make sure your guardian, right? Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, friend. Make sure that you talk with them first about this, have their help with this, and make sure that anything you experiment with this is okay to put in water. Because there's some things that might not be okay to put in water, right? Like a computer or a phone or, maybe a really important picture. Just talk with mom and dad first, all right? So what we have today is a really large bin of water, right? It's actually a little bit over 4 liters, 4 quarts of water. It's a lot. So I'm going to use this, and what I'm going to show you for our crafts, it's a little windy today, huh? Whoa! is we're going to use this water to test if something can float or sink. Now, when I say float or sink, float means what? Very good. Float means it will stay on top of the water, which is kind of an interesting concept, right? But it means it won't sink down to the bottom, which is where you hear the word sink. That means it'll go to the bottom of our bin. That means it's very heavy and it could go down to the ground, huh? But we're gonna try, and I have a bunch of different things here from around my house that I thought we could try out and see if it would float or sink. And I have my category for float, F-L-O-A-T, float. And I have my paper that we can put something if it's S-I-N-K, if it will sink. So I have those next to me, and we're gonna go ahead and test these out. So the first thing I have is a piece of felt. We use felt all the time for our crafts, huh? We use felt, it's very soft, and if I were to guess, it's quite light. Actually, the wind picked up and it flew away earlier. So felt is very light. Do you think something that's super light will float or sink? Let's find out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow, if you can see here, it's floating on top of the water. Ooh. So it looks like the answer for our felt, I'll show you from above. Looks like our felt floats. So I'm gonna take my felt. It's a little wet, so I'll just do a little shake off, shake, shake, shake. And I'm gonna put it onto my float paper. Now, that might actually fly away because of this wind, but we'll see. Okay, next up, I have a wet. Very good, it's a seashell. You might find these at the beach, if you go to the beach and collect them with your family, or, maybe part of some crafts if you have. Now, do you think this is a little bit heavier than the felt, I would say, if I were to compare them, which means kind of putting them next to each other and to see which one would be the heavier one? I would say this one is heavier than the felt, but it's still quite light, and it feels bumpy. See the little ridges on it and the lines? If you feel along the lines, it's quite bumpy. So let's see, do you think it's gonna float or sink? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow, look! Our shell, it didn't even think twice. It just sunk down to the ground. So our shell sinks. Look at that. It's gonna be cold. Woo! All right. Now my hand is all wet, huh? All right, so I'm gonna put our shell onto our sink paper. And our papers look like this, see? Now you could do that at home if you would like, or you can kind of just remember it in your head. If you want to make papers where you have a float category and a sink category, you can do that too. Next up, one of my favorite fruits, an avocado. Now an avocado, compared to the other two, this is the heaviest. I would say this one's heavier than, actually, even putting the shell and the felt together in one hand and having the avocado in the other, the avocado's heavier. See, it's harder to hold up compared to the other two. Now, avocados are delicious, huh? Not for everybody. Some people don't enjoy them. I'm a big fan. So let's see. Do you think this avocado, which is heavier, will float to the top or sink down to the ground? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Look at that. It actually even bounced for a minute up and down, but there's our avocado at the bottom of our bin. That's amazing. It's even moving around, huh? So did our avocado float or sink? Very good. It's sunk to the bottom. Now we have a wet avocado. So do I put this avocado on our float category or in our sink category? Good. It's going in our sink. Boop. It's kind of large, so I'll scooch it over. Okay. Now, next up, I have this flower. Good. It's pretty, huh? It's yellow petals, and the middle is actually like a purplish color. It's beautiful. I found this in our backyard. Now, you can see if you have any in your backyard that you're able to pick, because some might need to still grow. So make sure it's available, right? Now, this is super, super light compared to the other as well. When I hold this in my hand, I'm only using 2 fingers to hold it, right? Oh, check out underneath too. Those are beautiful. That's a beautiful pattern, huh? That's under the flower. This is above on the top view, bottom view. It's really pretty, huh? So this is really light. Do you think this will float or sink? Let's find out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Look, you can see at the very top, you can even see the bottom of it and a little bit of the stem at the very top of the water. So did our flower float or sink? Very good. It's floating. Let me show you at top view because it's so pretty. See there? That's amazing. So our flower floats. So I'll take this, give it a little shake off. Maybe the flower felt good, the water felt good for the flower, huh? I'm gonna put it in our float pile. Now, another one I have is a quarter. A quarter you might see in your piggy bank, or you might use it to buy some ice cream or something. This quarter is a little bit heavier too, and it's made out of type of metal, huh? Now, do you think this quarter will float or sink? That tells you something, huh? Let's see, ready? Woo! There goes that wind. I think the wind is excited to see if it'll float or sink too. Huh. Let's see. I'm actually gonna use this. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It sunk all the way to the bottom. And that was quick too. I'll do that again because that was so fast. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow. Yep. It definitely sinks. It's all the way down to the bottom. Did you know a quarter's worth 25 cents? Pretty cool. 4 of them make a whole $1. All right, so our quarter floats or sinks? Very good. It goes into the sink pile. Now, I thought this would be kind of fun. I created a boat myself, and maybe you can make a boat at your home with different supplies that you have. But I thought this would be kind of fun, and you can see, well, we can find out together, because I'm curious if it's going to float or sink. I made a boat out of different things I found in my house. This is an egg crate, where what you put in here are, very good, eggs. So I cut what shape is that? Nice, I cut a rectangle, and I made that for the base of my boat. Now, for this part, I used a what? Good, I used a straw. It's a pretty large straw. I'd say it's like for boba or something. A large straw for the pole, and attached to the sail is the flag. Good, and the flag is what shape? Awesome, it's a triangle. And I use flower pattern because I love flowers. Now, I'm curious to see if this is gonna float or if this is gonna sink. What do you think? Interesting. I think it might float, but who knows? Cardboard, the thing about this is if it gets filled with water, maybe it'll sink. Or maybe it will float. Let's find out. Are you ready? Let's get this a little more. 1, 2, 3. It's floating! We made a boat that sings! Yay! Look, oh, there's even a little leak and it's still floating. I'll show you. How cool! So if you want to try to make a boat at home, you can even I used, remember the egg cartons, a straw, and paper. And check it out. It's setting sail. And look, the wind is even making it move, huh? That's so cool. I'm so excited. Well, I hope you had fun today. I had a blast. And, you can tell me what materials you used at your home that you found around your house and tell me if those materials either float or sink. All right? I'll see you next time.